Oh my God, I'm allergic to everything. I'm getting so old. I didn't used to be allergic to anything. And now here I am. All right, so you know what time it is. Or probably you don't, since we are out of the fun and interactive story editing mode and into the man stares into the dark and tries to bridge the gulf of the 400 some odd pages still remaining in this rewrite and how far we do have to go. But it used to be that we had 800 pages remaining in this rewrite. And through assiduous rewriting, we have gotten to here. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to keep this up for today. I'm either slipping into a depression or allergies and inflammation are suppressing my immune system, and I am about to like split open and issue parasitic cysts that will grow into some kind of pod people. So one of those two things is true, but very little else is. Yeah, we made some troubling progress yesterday. It really is just hard to rewrite on stream. In fact, I have failed at it before and have definitely cowered out. And then I think for about a year, we just stopped the writing stream entirely, and I just tried to rewrite alone in silence. And I would estimate I was only getting like a page or two a day, which would track with our page count here. I think I left at like 200 pages, and then every day I averaged about a page of rewriting, which is, I mean, you can do it, but 750 words a day is about 10% of the output I would like to be at. So, although in that time, if we think about the other stories that I worked on, like I completed Three Wolf, which was another 70 pages. I wrote a bunch of short stories. I wrote a story called Vas Inane, which is about a bunch of wizards that run a town very, very poorly. I kind of almost want to write on that one today, but I know that it's just me trying to get away from this inescapable monolith of a book, which is the Rapasaurus, which I have now worked on for 8 or 9 years here, just trying to finish it. And I think is worth completing the Rapasaurus, but it's very, it's like D&D itself or any kind of like fantasy. You have to a little bit be in the mood here. But I'm drinking coffee, and I'm going to try to make it to it. So shout outs to whoever joined the stream. I don't know where or how or whatever there. I'm not announcing these. Well, I might as well announce it in LRH. just because just because I can. Oh god. Oh wait, do I have, yeah, I can just do that. Luckily, the stream is saved in the buffer. There we go. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just a mess of mucus and so forth. That's a wonderful thing to like tune into a stream and see. So luckily it's set in the buffer, but yeah, I'm just gonna topic at my channel, and then I still have yet to find how I can make it apparent to other people. But yeah, until I have another short story to write, I only like go out and advertise it when we're ready to like edit a final thing. So, oh Lord, is bad. Anyhow, um, the what was really daunting about this too is that we're not even close to done. After we do this whole rewrite of this story, um, we then have to go and edit the entire thing again on stream. Even at a very conservative, like 7 pages a day, this will be like about 150 days to get through this whole monster. Oh, and like an AI could spit out this entire thing in 5 minutes. But as to how good it would be, it's up to you. And the AI wouldn't have fun while it was doing it. That's kind of important. All right, so let's get back into this chapter here. I'm gonna throw on some music. I don't talk a lot during the rewrite streams because I'm mostly just concentrating and burning out my brain. Let me see. But yeah, I'll just play it up, and hopefully we'll get something good out of it. should add a Spotify widget to this if I'm going to be doing this. Shout out to Eric Sadie. So we're just listening to Eric Sadie Radio, who, by the way, Eric Sadie was indeed Satan, if you were wondering. What's up, Captain Ron? You're the only one, buddy. Who's this? Sibelius. OP75, The Trees. I love this one. Yeah, let me turn these up. Oh yeah, can't use sprawl, Ron. I'll use it later. I thought about it though. is not a spire. That's my problem. No, obelisks are very specific. Yeah, they usually have like a rectangular cross section. Yeah, they don't make them in hourglass. Oh shit, it's Web Wizard. What are you doing here? There's nothing going on here. I'm just gonna be editing this book until the end of time. Yes, I am indeed. This is, I think it's like the second or third rewrite for this guy. Yeah, it's dope. So just to give you an idea of what we're working on here, what does Chrome want to access Finder? What the fuck? You can't have that. All right, anyhow, it's weird that it would just pop up out of nowhere. Maybe I got fucking ratted. So just to give you an idea of what we're working on here. So Rapasaurus is the story of a young thief who breaks into a wizard's tower and steals an orb. Then he brings it back to this old man that everybody calls Fish, who is just an old drunk who's lost his memory. In the fantasy world that we did IRC D&D in, and that all my other fantasy books are written at, the sort of world is dominated by a great central ocean that they just call the lake. And the deeper that you sail into this ocean, the more of your memory you lose. So from time to time, you will just find people who wash up on the shore and they can't remember anything. Their mind is fucking wiped. And so Fish is one of these people. He just washed up like driftwood. They dragged him back, and he has some ability as a swordsman, but his eyes are like bleached completely gray, which is a synonym. It's kind of like a River Styx type situation there. And but he has cajoled this young thief named Rigel into stealing this magic orb, and the two of them flee up north along the Rakkar River towards the legendary dungeon, the Rapasaurus. And so afterward, the wizard's daughter, El Shala, and her noble boyfriend, Revel V. Ramos, who is in the story right here, get together a pack of people to go after them. And they managed to get 2 people to go along with them, a bard who is also a junkie called Yellow Hat, and basically a ruffian / leg breaker called Stirs the Hook. So those four chase after them upriver, and they get in all kinds of adventures and monsters and ancient monoliths and so forth. But they're too slow. The Rigel and Fish beat them into the Rapasaurus, and Fish uses this orb to open up the legendary Rapasaurus and flees inside. Well, El Shala is not to be deterred. She promises the two bums from Tinkerton she will give them titles and pay off their debts and give them land if they will go inside and help her reclaim this orb because has no idea what Fish is going to do with it. It just seems like a bad idea to let a guy run into the Rapasaurus with a magic orb, right? So that's the initial setup of the Rapasaurus. That's all in book 1, right? In book 2, what happens is that all the characters get lost and dispersed, right? Revel and Rigel are both knocked off of a bridge into a rushing river and swept into a sewer. They have to work together for a little bit of time, but because Revel is so overbearing, Rigel betrays him and steals all of his supplies, right? Next, El Shala and her troop of people wander into the Rapasaurus, and they are constantly just falling into traps, getting caught in labyrinths, just dealing with the fact that at the end of the day, she is just an apprentice. She does not understand all the things that she's seeing. Stirs and Yellow Hat are both just small town criminals. They have no real ability or any to deal with a dungeon. They're not set up for this whole thing. Meanwhile, Fish is wandering around through the dungeon himself, and he realizes, he's lost his only ally in Rigel and believes that he's dead. And Fish realizes that the only thing that he could remember from his past was the path through the Rapasaurus, right? He's haunted by the Rapasaurus in his dreams and believes that he is meant to bring this orb for a reason later to be revealed, although we get into it in almost towards the end of book 2. So he finds that the paths have changed, right? This is the only thing he was able to remember and is gone. And so he too finds himself beset by dangers, having to fight with some of the various denizens because the Rapasaurus, it seems, was built to contain a lot of entities called the Seether. And the Seether are your traditional devil type figures with a little bit of a twist to them. They love to cut deals, right? And all of them are trapped within the Rapasaurus. So every time they come across one of these, the demon tries to cut a deal with people, and they're good at it too. They're offering all kinds of power. They're offering that they know the way out. They're offering to reveal information that, like, Fish is dying to know his memory. So immediately they're all taunting him with that. So as it goes on, some of the characters start to take these deals with the Seether, and it doesn't go so well for them. The first of them to really go for it is Revel, who was caught blind, lost in the currents in an underwater lake. He's had to abandon his armor, and he's out of equipment. He can barely swim with his sword, and he cuts a deal with a kraken named Nylacombe for sight, right? And so the method that this takes is that Nylacombe boils out his eyes and implants Seether eyes there. So they take root and grow thorns into his brain, and it's agonizing and so forth. And so Revel finds that he can see perfectly in the dark, but he is stripped of all of his illusions. He has to see the world exactly as it is, and not just the world as it is, but he has to also see deep into the underpinnings of the world. Like, he is forced to confront the sort of underlying metaphors of the world. And through him, you start to realize that the Rapasaurus, which seems to be like just an entire mountain worth of chambers connected by these obsidian rings, you start to find out that actually these rings are they're traversing between different realities. Every time you step through one of the rings of the Rapasaurus, you are taken to another place, and then the way back changes. They're one-way portals, right? So yeah, and that's the basic setup for the Rapasaurus. We find ourselves more or less at that point where the characters have all gotten lost and are dispersed and are starting to do whatever they can to survive in this extremely hostile, extremely crazy thing. So in this chapter, Revel, who has already taken the deal with the devil, essentially, the problem is that when he took his deal with the devil, tricked the devil. Right? He engaged in the deal with Nylacombe under false pretenses, and then when Nylacombe tried to cash in, he had not correctly gained Revel's true name for the deal. Revel lied in his deal. So, because of that, Revel was able to double cross Nylacombe and stab out his eyes with his rapier. Ooh. So now he was able to escape from Nylacombe. He's not bound by their side of the deal, but he still has to deal with the fact that he has the marvelous eyes of a seether implanted in his, like, growing in his head, and with them, he gains some of their understanding of the underpinnings of reality, and it is already changing him. So he frees another demon, right? Like, not content to fuck up one deal, he frees Hadriate. And so Hadriate is kind of what you would see as sort of like a Babylonian fertility goddess, succubus type figure, like an Uranus or what have you. So she is busily, like, twisting Revel around her finger and manages to convince him to free her. So we're at that portion of the story right there. More stuff is going on with the other characters, but yeah, it's a lot going on, and it's still a linear narrative, like every fucking book I write. Like, all the everything is happening in order, so we have all these different threads converging from each other. Whew, I should have been writing the story instead of rehashing it for the millionth time. But it's exciting to talk about it, and as I talk about it, it does seem cool to me. Like, I like all those threads that are brought together. It's meant to not be too ham-fisted and be relatively believable as far as fantasy goes. I don't ask readers to make a lot of big jumps. You know what I mean? Like, it should all track with, like, its own internal mythology. The magic system should be internally consistent. You know, like some of the hallmarks of a decent fantasy novel. Anyhow, so all that is going on. I completely lost my train of thought of what I was going to say next there. But yeah, like, I'm jazzed about it, and I've obviously put a bunch of time into working on it. But so now I'm rewriting the entire relationship between Hadriate and Revel. Like, their whole arc is getting rewritten for this one. Their initial arc was just he immediately fell for her seduction. They spent a lot of time fucking. There's some degree of rape happening there. And it was just really kind of like, it stuck out like a sore thumb because I didn't really build up to any of those things. I was just like, all right, characters, let's have them fuck. Because I was just like when I started writing this shit, I was like thinking entirely with my dick. And now I'm old and withered, and so I can start thinking about, what do these characters really want? Like, what's power really all about? And what does she want? What does he want? Like, where are they going? What does it say about the people who are reading the story? So, yeah, I'm very blessed that I didn't publish any of this shit when I was younger, because it was all garbage back then. And there's a lot of garbage that's printed, right? And God bless those people for getting contracts, like being better than me at this, or closer to what's marketable. But yeah, like, it was not the right time for me to put stuff out, and I feel a lot better now. All right, that said, I do have a chapter to rewrite. Good luck. Oh no, who's fucking bothering me at 5 a.m. on fucking Teams? This is gay. This is so gay. All right. Let's go to another one. No. I want to play on Cervantes. There we go. Fusion of crookies out. Oh yeah. Oh, we use web later on, so we can't use it. Okay, so if you're wondering like what we're trying to describe right here, oh, hopefully there's not porno. This is what the city looks like. Yeah, Revel v Ramos. An editor will probably make us change it at some point. Yeah, this map right here. Oh, that's so small. Well, hopefully you can get it. Yeah, it's essentially so the city is the Q*bert map, right? Where each of these triangles is a it really is the Q*bert. Vidopolis is set up as Q*bert. So Revel is standing here at this bottom thing right here. Beneath him is this big lake that takes up this entire block, and these 5 cells are essentially a city park. So the whole city is set up in a giant V, right? This becomes important later because it's just the vanity of Vadabo, who is the antagonist in this city. He wants his whole city to look like a V. I'm considering making the whole city be an hourglass, so there's 2 Vs. But anyhow, that's how dumb we're getting with it. I think it was the theme for some HBO thing. I can't remember exactly which it was. Let's see. Nah, it doesn't show the history. Sorry. All right, there we go. You can't. Yeah. In my mind, the city, towers, city above would be one complete image before breaking to react. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that is kind of what we're doing there. It goes city, towers, and then he sees the second city. Um, yeah, there's really like a lot of weird geometric architecture in this story. It goes pretty ham with it. Oh yeah, yeah, but it really is so much effort to get to Qbert, which is what's this? Oh, there's a word for it. It's an isometric grid. I think this is an isometric hexagonal grid. But yeah, you can see how wide, how crazy all these avenues and so forth would be. Anyhow, oh yeah, yeah. Like, so the last book that I wrote was like science fiction, and we had to deal a lot with some strange geometric structures that were built inside of a star. And I had to call in. So there's an IRC channel called Not Math on Liberia. It used to be on Freenode at the time, and I would have to go and talk to the math people and be like, "Hey, what is this structure?" And like the story is full of like great stellated dodecahedrons and like Goldberg polyhedrae and toruses and whatever geometric shape you want. There are words for it, but the other part of it too is that people don't, unless you're like a mathematician, they don't. Oh, here's that book, by the way. Ooh, it's shiny. um, unless you're talking with a mathematician, people don't know what those are. So, like, you can explain perfectly what the thing is, but you really get bogged down in the whole thing there. So, ugh. But I'm gonna make it one way or another. Burned into astonishment doesn't work. There we go. That's better. Hmm. Oh yeah. This Nothing about the story is elegant. It really is. Uh, this is in the like ham-fisted fantasy genre, and the book, if you'll see here, it's like 900 pages long, right? So when you're writing this kind of, and at its core, it really is just like a hack and slash dungeon crawler, right? Um, so yeah, you can't. There is elegance has no place within this narrative here. I don't know if I write anything that's elegant. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of a hack. But yeah, like it really is just about treasure and dungeons and deals with devils. All right, what do we got here? I want something like Bloomed, but cooler. You know what I want is like, oh yeah. This is so the cover of this is actually I've already got the cover for it. It's a text treatment, but I'm lucky because Rapasaurus is like 9 characters long, so you can do it in a grid of things there, and then we just yeah, it's actually looks kind of dope as a text treatment, but not as marketable as I would like to be. But it's like a RAPAXO uh, uh, RIS. Yeah, Rapasaurus. Here, hold on. What do we got? Yeah, what I want is like the idea of he's odd, but he just steps on the fucking throttle. Oh yeah, the town named whatever there. Let's see. Expanded, elongated, enlarged, inflated, increased. Yeah, so something. Yeah, exploded is too much. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just became is fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Convulsed. Mm-hmm. They're up. Outburst. Erupt is too much. Flared up. Frenzy. Outbreak. Tantrum. Upheaval. We gotta have it blow into. Yeah. Honestly, like I think this is like a little too much to tell you the truth. Like awe exploding into astonishment. Like. Yeah. There we go. It's stupid. Yeah. There we go. Uh, let's see. So you are proposing that you show the awesome thing so that the reader feels it. Let's take a look at your suggestion there. Now, And I think you have a pretty good idea there. Instead of telling the reader like, "Hey, this is he's frozen in awe," we can let it kind of like bloom up. Overcome by awe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's too much to fix. All right, let me see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a little on the nose there. I gotta agree. Yeah, his eyes grew white. I hate like how common eyes growing white are like. Yeah, there we go. Eyes popped out of his head as his eyelids peeled back off of his face as the anvil descended. Above, he could hear the laughter of rabbits. Yeah. No, that's a good suggestion there. No, let's check out the gold. Yeah, he has a his So another part of it here is that they have essentially like infravision with these devil eyes. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, I like that a little better. You know what? You know what this is kind of similar to. I just went to this recently. There is a museum at a park in Queens where they have a scale model of the entirety of New York City. It's gigantic. The thing spreads through like an entire warehouse right there. And when you first hit it, there's just so much there that you can't like take it all in. Your mind is just like, what? What is it? What? And it just you have to look at it section by section because there's so much crazy stuff going on there. You can't immediately process it. I think this whole city is just Blackreach, by the way. Mm. It's better.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, we're not. I'm not at the stage where I'm worrying about the grammar of individual sentences because we're just trying to like flow through it here. Like, well, this is just the rewriting pass, and then afterward we will have an editing pass where we all sit and go through each line. I give out points too. If you've never been here before, if you look at the acknowledgments page of the this book, you can see all the people that participated in the online edit. The winner had 122 edits, and this it's a short book. I think it's only like maybe 50 or 60,000 words. It's only like 100 and maybe like 220 pages, but he got a lot of edits in there. So the process is that I do my initial draft before I get on to whatever, and I just try to fly through that with as little editing as possible. Sometimes I'll start a chapter by going back and editing it. Then I'll do my edit, which is just me going through an entire thing. Then I'll do an on-stream edit, where like people will get points and stuff like that. Then it goes to like an actual editor, somebody that I pay, that word by word does like an actual. Not, I don't think I ever do a directional edit, but it does like just a comprehensive edit of the story, and then it goes to a proofreader. So we are a long way from semicolons, is what I'm trying to say. Let's mean. Yeah, yeah. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, you can say whatever you want in the chat. It's a free country. It's just I'm not at the point where I'm trying to do that. I'm just trying to put this chapter together because I guess we're rewriting it whole from whatever. Normally, I don't write on stream for this very reason. It's just very easy to get distracted. But but yeah, yeah. Like first draft, it's annoying too because I want to edit, but I just got to get through this. When did I make this? Cool. I've only finished short stories, never my longer ones. It's probably because I don't focus on one thing at a time. I actually have, if you want to read it, I have, because I have finished 8 books at this point, like some of them full length novels, and I have, as you can tell, intense ADD. Let me find this for you. Let's see. All right, almost there. You have to do this with one finger. There's no. All right, so here, check this out. So I get this all the time from people who get yeah. Oh no, I'm a fucking machine right here. Um, which is really just says that I don't have any sense. I probably should have stopped after one or two, but this is my life's work. Okay, so I get so many people who are in the same position that they've started a big ass novel or a trilogy or a septilogy or some crazy thing like that, and they come to the stream and they're like, "Yeah, I can finish short stuff, but I can't do things that are longer." Or like I've got something that's like been brewing for years and years, and I have books where I started them like 7 or 8 or 9 years ago. Like this one, I really started it like a decade ago. It feels like I think it was in 2015. Wait, oh no, it was earlier than 20. Oh my, I'll have to dig up. Hold on, I can probably find this if I really want to. Hold on, let me just search my Gmail for the first instance of Rapasaurus. It's had the same name the whole time, which is nice. All right, so. All right, let's go. How far back does Rapasaurus go? I'm seeing in 2017, I was trying to find an editor for it. In 2014, I was writing it. Let me see. 2014, I see more Rapasaurus ducks. 2013, yeah, as I've been working on this for a fucking decade. I hope it doesn't go back further. Me, no subject. You can just see that. Oh yeah. Okay, so it looks like the first time I sent myself a copy of this book, which is where it was like large enough to do anything, was like 2013. And I've just been working on it for a decade, apparently. But I am gonna try and finish it this year, and like just have something that I'm done with, and then I can fucking finish it. So yeah, like for epic fantasy, it's not uncommon for somebody to work on something for like 10 or 15 or 20 years. It's a big thing to do. And it's also not uncommon for it to be dog shit at the end of the 10 or 20 or 15 years. Like for every Tolkien, there is a Jolkin. Oh, why is fucking oh, I can't remove the D&D on this? Hold on. Yeah, go away, D&D. Are you serious? Apple, what have you done? We're just gonna have to deal with that gray block at the top. I'll have to reboot this machine because Apple's an asshole. I wonder if I could just reboot Finder, if that'd fucking do it. Let's see. Okay. Let's try and force quit. Finder, relaunch, lose any unsafe changes. Oh, so the notification is not even on Finder? Stupid. So Brandon Sanderson just has like a particularly ferocious autism, where, and also he's developed like a kind of similar thing. Like some of the stuff in that finish your book thing, which by the way, as I'm saying this shit, I should be finishing my book. But some of that is taken from advice that he's given. Like he gives panels and stuff like that on how to do this whole thing. My primary contention is that you should set up a practice and try to do this every single day, which you can see that I'm doing. Like, I'm depressed at the moment, right? So I woke up this morning. I did not want to do this shit in the slightest, right? I just did. I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel inspired. But what I do every morning is I brew up a giant batch of cold brew. I brew the cold brew. I make a giant cold brew that's very powerful. And I go walk around my home of Bedford Stuyvesant at 4 in the morning and see like the junkies and the winos and realize that life is very short. And like if you want to attain your goals, you have to work on them every day, at least a little, to the best of your ability. And eventually, if you work on something every day, you will complete it just through sheer inertia. And so for a lot of people who have intense ADHD or they're just fucking lazy, which is is probably more my problem than whatever. Just forcing yourself to do that one thing every day is important. It's the only way that I've been able to finish these books. So that's all in that link that I sent. Give it a read if you would like. And if you finish your book and become a multimillionaire because of my advice, please shower me with money and affection. And like gifts. Anyhow. Speaking of, I should get back to. There we go. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, really, like I have in that document what I think is an almost foolproof plan to finish a science fiction or fantasy novel. And it's not easy to implement, right? It has a lot to do with like getting the right amount of sleep, with avoiding marijuana, which I feel is just the death knell for so many novels. And the other part of it too is, and this is the most critical piece of advice that I ever give to people who write, don't tell anybody what you're doing, right? Don't talk about your novel. Don't tell your friends. Don't have your friends read it and so forth until you complete the first draft. And the completion of the first draft is writing the first draft and also editing the first draft. Until those things happen, nobody should be reading your story. Um, and it's not just like one, they'll distract you with like meaningless diversions and so forth, and they don't have your vision. They can't write the story for you. Their input is useless for the most part. It's just going to lead you astray. The other part is that there's a phenomenon where talking about doing something triggers the same dopamine reaction in your mind as doing the thing. Like if you say like, "Oh, I'm going to exercise later today," your brain is like, "Oh, cool, we exercised. We don't have to exercise later today." It saps the motivation that you have, and it's only a little bit. But in the case of something like finishing a book, the margin between doing something and not doing something is just razor thin. It really is. It just takes like a tiny nudge. Like if I had listened this morning to the voice that was like, "I'm just gonna fucking jack off and play video games. I'm not good at writing today," we would not be having this conversation. I would not have made the minuscule progress that I have made, like one page that we've worked on there. None of that would have happened. Um, yeah, posting on forums for feedback is useful to become a better writer. I'm also not a fan of anonymous people. I say this before, anonymous people on the internet. I'm not a fan of anonymous feedback from the internet. Feedback from people that you don't know. Um, Much better, if you're looking for it, is to join something like a writing group where they use the Clarion method. Only post older chapters, not the latest chapter. Yeah, I mean, if people are paying attention and stuff. I mean, there's also like Kindle Vella and stuff like that. I'm thinking about going on to where people are doing serializations and, but, but yeah, I'm very leery of opinions on the internet just because I read reviews on Goodreads and I read like people gushing over stuff on. I think I'm in the Mike's Book Reviews server stuff, and like a lot of the opinions that I read on there, I'm like, I don't know what this character is smoking, but that book is not good, and that they're like patterning their life around it, right? It's just people can lead you deeply astray, and the biggest danger too is that your final product is not your product, but an amalgam of different people. Um, and every book is going to be an amalgam of different opinions. An editor's going to get in there. Some other people are going to suggest some changes and so forth. No novel truly stands on its own, but the initial state of it should be the initial state of a book should be almost entirely your own vision, in my opinion. Anyhow, that's why I don't like almost any book where two people are writing it. Get the fuck out of here. I want to see one person's singular. I hold up two fingers as I say one person's singular vision that was so important to them that they were willing to spend 10 years working on it. All right, let me try and finish this chapter. Oh, you can see like the mind desperate to escape the task, seizing on any diversion that it can find. I don't know why I've tempted myself in this way. Mm, let's see. Mm-hmm. Coil switch back and forth as I climb to the city above. Uh oh, I like this idea. Ooh, I like this idea a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm already there. And we have these like snake stairs all over the Rapasaurus. The Vadabo, like is big into serpents. He's Loldangs apparently. If you are in the IRC, God, hold on. Yeah, let's see if there's a way to do this. Do not disturb bug and Macos, sir. No longer have. Oh wow, we're deep into it. Okay, let's just ignore it for now. I bet a reboot will fix it. In all truly, uh, yeah. Like, let me not go in deep into the OS X settings in the middle of the writing stream. You can see like me getting distracted over and over and over again, and it's really just like facing up to the energy that I need to expend to work this thing. Mm-hmm. 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 Whew. Oh, 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 I need to shower. I'm wearing the same shirt for 3 days. Let me see. Oh, they shipped my package. How nice of them. Ooh, yeah, I like this dynamic. Or I like this dynamic where the pact between the two of them is uneasy, and she is going to try to undermine him the entire time. And okay, cool. So what are we now? 6:36. Whew. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna get so fucking 50 Shades if I let it. I gotta be careful here. Okay, cool. And so this is harkening back to maybe just a chapter before where Nylacombe broke through the main conduit. So one neat thing about the whole Rapasaurus is that as you're doing this, the entire Rapasaurus is fucking falling apart. And the people inside are contributing to it. They're smashing things, they're breaking through portals, they're combining chambers that should never meet, they're collapsing portals. It's chaos. Okay, cool. So I like the change up that we have done in this chapter thus far. It's pretty decent there. We changed up like a little bit of the reality of the thing. I don't know what I'm gonna write next, so I'm gonna have to think on this overnight. Um, because I have goals for what's going to happen between the two of them. But okay, cool. And like I instead of starting here, I don't want to delete my whole chapter break. Let's take that out because it's not a section. It's always good to stop midway through a section rather than completing it because it's easier to jumpstart the next day. And I think on what I want to have happen to them in Vadopolis, who they might meet, what might happen. We have done one, two, three, four. Okay, so four, like 3.5 pages of description. So the next part of it should take about 3.5 pages to reach whatever plot point I want. And then we're done. All right. So it's not too bad for a day where I thought I had nothing in the tank. If you ever feel like, oh, I'm creative, I don't have a good idea or whatever, just edit the last chapter that you were working on, and it will start to spur more things. If you don't have ideas for like a section of a story, it's because you haven't been thinking about it enough, and it will eventually come to you. Yeah, thanks for tuning in and just being lazy. I'm just gonna keep doing this every morning until this stupid thing is done. That's my game plan. So hopefully it works. Hope everybody has a good day today. And yeah, as always, if you like my books and stuff, you can go to zachzyz.com. All that shit is for free. You can listen to the whole of Zeros on an audiobook if you feel like it. All right, I'm going to do a bunch of paperwork today, and I am mailing out those stickers. So if you requested stickers, I think I'm going to try and mail them today. Good